Yeah, I mean, I don't know how comfortable you are, because people love this shit. If you want to tell me, you can. If you don't, just say pass. I'll go to the next question. But as a teenager back then, I imagine you were using very, very little compared to what gets used now. I mean, can you give me some idea of like what the amounts were, if it's okay? If not, just say pass.
No, listen, I've always been very open to that. I've never been afraid to share information. My older friends always told me, when people ask you about steroids, you always tell them the truth, because if not, you're gonna look stupid. You understand? If you if you look like a musclehead and you tell them you're natural, you're gonna look like an idiot.
Yeah.
So you don't push steroids on you don't push steroids on people. But if somebody asks you if you've ever taken or you've taken steroids, you have to admit it, because you're gonna look stupid. So and I'll tell you, my first time, the first time I took steroids, I was I think 15 or 14 and a half in the 8th grade.
If I was your dad, I would have beat your ass. But go ahead.
DECA. But not to throw anyone under the bus, everybody that was competing with me in the teenage categories was doing the same thing.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So you're talking about a cycle now.
So your first cycle was just DECA?
Yeah.
Oh God, what a horrible cycle. But I bet you did okay on it.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, what a shitty cycle, DECA only. Ugh.
Well, remember, that's how you learn. I mean, you don't.
I know.
You have no clue. But so a typical cycle to compete back then.
Yeah.
Was probably like 400 milligrams of DECA, 200 milligrams of test, and maybe one oral. What would be an oral back then? Anavar?
Yeah, it depends on whether you're off season or pre-contest or whatever. But yeah, that's like a bikini girl cycle these days.
Yeah, but because here's my analogy, and it's because back then we were afraid of the drugs, so we counted more on the weight training and the food, and then the drugs was like, okay, we're scared of it, let's just take very little, right? Now it completely changed. Now we know we've been taking drugs for by the bodybuilding world. We've been taking drugs for 50 years already. We know we're not gonna die. Right? We know that already. Because before we were afraid we were going to die. Right. So now we could take 5,000 milligrams, so we could train a lot less.
Yep.
And that's what is trend. That's what's happened now. We know we're not going to die, but back then we were completely paranoid of dying. So you would take a lot less steroids and you would train a lot harder. Now, how high did I get back then?
Sure.
I think like 400 milligrams of test, 400 milligrams of DECA, equipoise, like I forgot how, like maybe 200 milligrams of equipoise.
Wow.
And one oral, and that's it.
Wow. What a baby cycle. That's I know guys who don't even, they're never going to compete. They do 3-4 times that amount just to look, just look swole in the gym.